Hello everyone, it's me Sanjeev Rawat. In today's session, I will tell you about the topic complex number, which is for the class 11th. Now let's start the complex number. Why there was a need of a complex number? Now for getting the complex number, first we have to treat a question. Suppose this is the case: if ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is the quadratic equation. It is quadratic because this x has power of 2, and when there is a degree of 2, then its root are 2. That means suppose alpha and beta are the roots of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Now if I am applying the Sridharacharya formula here, Sridharacharya formula means quadratic formula. If for the quadratic formula, alpha was equals to minus of b plus under root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a, and beta is equal to minus b minus under root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Suppose alpha and beta are the roots. If I am saying about the root, that means root is a solution. Alpha is equal to minus of b plus under root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a, and beta is equal to minus of b minus under root of b square minus 4ac upon 2a. When I am saying alpha and beta, then this alpha is always a positive and this beta is always a negative. In this case, this b square minus 4ac is known as d. D means discriminant, and this is defined by d is equal to b square minus 4ac. Now in the class 10th you have already read about the d, discriminant. In math there are three cases. Suppose a and b, there are two numbers. The first one is a and second one is b. The three cases arises here. A can be greater than b, a equals to b, or a is lesser than b. These are the three These are the three cases. If a and b are two different numbers, then a can be greater than b, a is equal to b, or a is lesser than b. But when I am saying about the equation, then the equation will be, in the case of a d, that means this discriminant d is greater than 0, or d is equal to 0, or d is lesser than 0. In class 10th we have read that d is greater than 0, then the roots are equal. Roots are real and unequal. This is the study of class 10th in the quadratic equation. If d is greater than 0, means any number, discrimination of ax square plus bx plus c is greater than 0, then the roots means solution, are real and unequal. In the case if d is equal to 0, then we are saying it is real and equal. This is equal. Now if d is lesser than 0, d is lesser than 0 means it will be a negative number, means, and here it was no solution. In your book it was written that if d is lesser than 0, then there is a no solution. But in class 11th what we are saying, this is not no solution, is changed with, and you will say the roots are imaginary. Roots are imaginary. If I am saying about the imaginary, now let us discuss what is the meaning of imaginary. For this one, suppose there is a case, there are two equations. The first equation is, suppose I am saying solve x square minus 4 equals to 0. If there is a case you have to solve x square minus 4 equals to 0, then what you are doing? You are just solving it like this. X square will be equals to 4, then x will be equals to under root of 4, and you can say under root of 4 means plus minus 2. Here you have to write plus minus. Why plus minus? Because this is a quadratic equation and quadratic equation has the degree of 2 and it has two roots. In the case of a two roots, the first one will be equals to positive and second will be equals to minus 2. That means x equals to plus minus 2 is a solution for the equation x square minus 4 equals to 0. Now, I have to change this equation by replacing minus with the plus. That means suppose the problem is you have to solve x square plus 4 equals to 0. This is the problem that you have to solve x square plus 4 equals to 0. In the similar pattern, you have to do it like this also. X square will be equals to minus of 4. Then x will be equals to under root of minus 4. Then what will the value of minus 4? I can't say x will be equals to 2 or x equals to minus 2. Just see here. If I am substituting x equals to 2 here, then 2 square will be equals to 4. Then 4 plus 4 is not equals to 0. If I am saying x equals to minus 2, then minus 2 square will be equals to 4. 4 plus 4, that is equals to 8. That means it is not equals to 0. Then this number is known as an imaginary number. That means how you can say, how you have to define it. This can be written as x is equal to under root of 4 into under root of minus 1. Under root of 4 into under root of minus 1. What is the value of under root 4? That will be equals to plus minus 2 and it will be equals to minus 1. X will be equals to plus minus 2 under root of minus 1. Then this under root of minus 1 is known as imaginary number. Imaginary number. And this imaginary number was first found by the Greek mathematician Euler. Euler has introduced the imaginary number and he has said it as a iota. This is the mathematical approach for writing an imaginary number, that is iota. I-O-T-A. Iota. Then iota is always equals to under root of minus 1. This is imaginary number. Now this was the basic or this was the introduction to the complex number. Complex number means it is a set of all real numbers and imaginary number. If I am saying about a real and imaginary number and the complex number, then the complex number is always defined as Z. Or in the good book you can say it like this also. This Z is equals to A plus iota B. A plus IB. Don't say it I, say it iota. Z equals to A plus iota B, where this A is called real part. RE of Z means real part of a complex number, and this B is known as imaginary part of a Z means imaginary number. Then by this conclusion, real number and imaginary number are the part of the complex number. Then what we can say? We can say the complex number is a combination of real and imaginary number. That means Z equals to A plus iota B, or you can also say Z equals to X plus iota Y, or you can say Z equals to P plus iota Q. These are the basic, this is the format or this is the form of a complex number. This is how you are writing any complex number. Complex number is a collection of a real and imaginary number. If I am saying about the imaginary, that means there is an inclusion of a iota. Iota is there, and what is the value of iota? That is equals to under root of minus 1. Now we will go further. Suppose I was saying the complex number is written as Z equals to X plus iota Y, and this X is a real part. That means this Z is equal to real part of Z plus, and this Y is the imaginary part of a Z. This was the notation for the complex number, or how any complex number can be written, and any complex number can be written in the form of x plus iota y. That means this x is a real part and y is a imaginary part. Now we will go for the integral part, integral power. This is the very important concept, that is integral power of iota, I. Integral power concept of a iota. Suppose there is a case you want to find the value of iota to the power 100, suppose, or you have to find iota to the power 400 and so on. Now how the values come? So for this one I will tell you first thing. I have told you about iota is always written as under root of minus 1. Iota is always equals to under root of minus 1. Now if I am saying iota square, then iota square can be written as iota into iota, means under root of minus 1 is multiplied by under root of minus 1, that is equals to minus of 1, means iota square will be equals to minus of 1. If I am saying iota to the power 3 or iota cube, then iota cube can be written as iota square into iota. Iota square is equal to minus 1 and iota is equal to iota, then its value will be equals to minus of iota. That means iota cube will be equals to minus iota. Iota is equal to under root of minus 1. Iota square will be equals to minus 1 and iota cube is equal to minus of iota. Now if I want to find iota to the power 4, then iota to the power 4 can be written as iota square and whole square. Iota to the power 2 and whole power 2 will be equals to, what is the value of iota square? That is equals to minus of 1. The minus 1 whole square. If minus 1 is multiplied minus 1, you are getting 1. That means iota to the power 4 is equal to 1. Now in the similar pattern, if I want to find iota to the power 100, iota to the power 100, then iota to the power 100 means you have to change it like this, but it will take a very time. Then it has a trick. Now for the trick, what you have to do, suppose I want to find the value of iota to the power 100, then see the power, you have to check the power. This is the power 100, right here power 100, and you have to divide it by 4, divided by 4. Now if it completely divide, it is divisible by 4 completely, then its value will be equals to 1. Otherwise, if the remainder can be 1, remainder can be 1, remainder can be 2, and remainder can be 3. If you are dividing any number, the power by 4, the remainder can be 1, remainder can be 2, remainder can be 3, or it is completely divisible. Now in the case if I am saying iota to the power 100, for this case I have divided 100 by 4. This is the first step you have to do. You have to divide a number by the 4. If you are dividing by 4, then this is equals to 5. Means you can write it iota to the power 4 and whole power 25. Means 25 is multiplied by 4. 25 4 is 100. That means iota to the power 4 is equal to 1, and any number 1 having power 25 will be equals to 1. That means iota to the power 100 will be equals to 1. Suppose you want to find iota to the power, suppose 1000. That means again you have to divide it by 4. Iota to the power 1000 is divided by 4. Then this will be equals to 250 times. Means it can be written as iota to the power 4 and whole power, that is equals to 250, that is equals to 1, because iota to the power 4 is always equals to 1 and 1 to the power 250 is again equals to 1. Suppose you want to find a simple case, I am saying iota to the power 18. We have to find iota to the power 18. If iota to the power 18 means this 18 is divided by 4. If 18 is divided by 4, then you have to say 4 4 is 16. The remainder is equal to 2. Means 4 times it is completely divisible by the 4 times, and the remaining is 2. That means it will be equals to iota square. And what is the value of iota square? That is equals to, from here you can say iota square equals to -1. That means iota to the power 18 will be equals to -1. Similarly, you can say if iota to the power, suppose you want to find 27, iota to the power 27, then iota to the power 27 can be written as iota to the power 24 plus 3. 24 plus 3. Why I am saying 24? 24 can be perfectly divisible. It is divisible by the 4 completely, and the remainder will be equals to 3. Then this will be 1 into iota to the power 3. And what is the value of iota to the power 3? Iota to the power 3 is equal to minus of iota. That means iota to the power 27 will be equals to minus iota. This was an integral power concept of a iota, that how you can find the value of iota having any power. First, next I am telling you second times. First you have to do it 4. You have to divide it by the 4. Then the remainder will be 1. If the remainder is 1, then the answer will be equals to iota. If remainder is 2, then answer will be equals to iota square, and iota square equals to -1. If the remainder is equal to 3, then iota to the power 3, that is equals to minus of iota, and if it is completely divisible by 4, that means answer will be equals to 1. This is the trick, you have to remember it. Now we will go through the next topic, that is equality of a complex number. Equality of a complex number means, suppose z equals to a plus iota b is the form, special form. You can say it is a standard form, not a special. It is a standard form. Z equals to iota a plus iota b. And I am considering, suppose z1 is equal to a1 plus iota b1, and z2 is equal to x1 plus iota y1. Suppose there are two complex number. The first complex number is z1 is equal to a plus iota b1, and z2 equals to x1 plus iota y1. These both are equal. These both are equal, and there is a condition. They are equal if and only if. That is IFF. If and only if x1 will be equals to a1 and y1 will be equals to b1. That means the real part of the first complex number and the real part of the second complex number are equal. If there is a equality of a complex number, then a1 should be equals to x1 or x1 should be equals to a1, and the imaginary part means b1 and y1. Then b1 will be equals to y1. The condition is if real, suppose I am writing a question here. Suppose there is a case that z1 is equal to 2 minus iota y, and z2 is equal to x plus 3 iota. Suppose there is a case z1 equals to 2 minus iota y, and z2 equals to 3 plus 4 iota, and you have to find the value of x and y. The question was find x and y. For the value of x and y, and they are equal, means these two numbers z1 and z2 complex number are equal if this real part is equals to this real part. That means x will be equals to 2, or you can say the real part re of z1 will be equals to re of z2. Re means real part. Real part of z1 will be equals to real part of z2. Then real part of z1 equals to 2 and real part of z2 is equal to x. Then you can say 2 will be equals to x or x will be equals to 2. This was the first one, when you have to find the value of x. X equals to 2. Similarly, when you are comparing these two, here iota has the sign negative. That means this will be equals to minus y. Minus y will be equals to, here this is plus of 3. Minus y equals to 3, then y will be equals to minus of 3. Then this is the value of x equals to 2 and y is equal to minus 3 are the solution for a equality of a complex number. The two complex number are equal if and only if the real part of the first one is equal to real part of the second one, and the imaginary part of the first one is equal to imaginary part of a second one. This was about the equality of a complex number. Now, imaginary number. I have already told you about that imaginary numbers. I told you that iota is equals to under root of minus 1. Iota is equals to under root of minus 1. Suppose I want to find the value of under root 144. This is a simple case. Under root of 144, then you can say, so it will be plus minus 12. Means the square of 12. A square of 12 is equal to 144 and minus 12 is also equals to 144. Now the question changes and the question says find the value of under root minus 144. Then this type of problem is known as a imaginary. This number is a imaginary number. The imaginary number means when there is you want to find the square root of an imaginary number. This is minus of 144. If this is plus, then you will say, so it will be plus 12 or minus 12. But if it is minus of 144, then how you will solve it? Minus of 144 can be written as under root of 144 is multiplied by minus 1. First you can write it like this. This 144 is multiplied by minus of 1. That means this can be written as under root of 144 is multiplied by under root of minus 1. These both are separated. Why? Because under root of AB can be written as under root of A into under root of B, or under root of A into under root of B, and into means multiplication. Under root of A is multiplied by under root of B, then you are saying the value of under root A into under root B is equal to under root of AB. In the similar pattern, you can say under 140 and square root of 144 into square root of minus 1 is equal to under root of minus 144. Then this value, under root of square root of 144 will be equals to plus minus 12, and this is the imaginary number, then it has the value of iota. Under root of minus 1 is equal to iota. That means under root of minus 144 will be equals to plus minus 12 iota. Now, second thing, we will go for the operation of a complex number. How we can perform the operation? You all know about the operations. There are 4 basic operations in the mathematics, that is addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Now the first thing is about the addition of a complex number. Addition of a complex number. How the complex number are added, or how you can perform the operation addition. The first topic is addition of a complex number. Suppose Z1 is the first complex number and it is equal to, suppose I am saying 3 plus 4 iota. 3 plus 4 iota is the first complex number, and second Z2 is equal to, I am saying 2 plus 3 iota. 2 plus 3 iota. And I have to add it, means I have to find the value of Z1 plus Z2. This is our aim, to find the value of Z1 plus Z2, means the two complex number are added. How you can add the complex number? You may remember that in algebra, what you are doing, when you are adding the like terms and in one way, and the secondly, unlike terms in one way. Suppose this is the case, Z1 equals to 3 plus 4 iota and Z2 equals to 2 plus 3 iota, and you want to find Z1 plus Z2. Okay, now this is the real part and this is the real part, means you can say, you can consider it as the like terms. Then the real part of first and real part of second are added, means this will be equals to Z1 plus Z2 will be equals to 3 plus 2, because this is real part and this is real part. You can treat it as a like terms. Then this will be 3 plus 2. Then plus, write down here plus. This 4 iota and 3 iota are again the like terms and they are separated differently, means 4 iota plus 3 iota. You can say 4 plus 3, that is equals to 7 iota, or 3 plus 2 is equal to 5, 5 plus 7 iota will be the addition of a complex number. If Z1 equals to 3 plus 4 iota and Z2 equals to 2 plus 3 iota, then the answer will be 5 plus Z, 5 plus 7 iota. This is the addition of a complex number. Now, secondly, if there are some properties of a addition. Now we will go for properties of a complex number. These are very important topic. Properties of a complex number. The first property is about the closure property. Closure property. Closure property means in your junior classes you have studied about the closure property. If 1 plus 2 that is equals to 3. Suppose if I am saying 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. Then this 1 is a natural number and this 2 is also a natural number, and the resultant means the result you are getting, that is also a natural number. Means if two natural numbers are added, the resultant or the result is always a natural number. This was the case for the real number. Similarly, if I am saying if two complex numbers are added, then the result is also a complex number, then this property is known as a closure property. Now let us take an example. Suppose Z1 is the first one, Z1 equals to 2 plus 3 iota, suppose, and Z2 is equal to 4 plus 5 iota. This, and I have to add it, means Z1 plus Z2 will be equals to this real part and this real part will be added, that will be 2 plus 4 and plus 3 plus 5, that is equals to 8 iota. Then you can say 4 plus 2, that is equal to 6, 6 plus 8 iota, which is again a Z, means complex number. That means the closure property says when two complex numbers are added, then in the it is true valid for the under operation under C. Under C means within it is a closed with the complex number. Means when two complex number are added, the resultant is also a complex number, and this property is known as a closure property. Second property is commutative. Commutative property. These are the same, similar as for the natural number. Commutative property. Now, commutative property means if 3 is added to 4 and 4 is added to 3, the result will be same. In the case of a natural number, if I am saying 3 and 4 are added, you are getting 7, and 4 and 3 are added, you are getting a 7. In a similar way, if Z1 is added to Z2, this will be equals to Z2 plus Z1. That means the sum of this and this will not affect it. The sum of this Z1 plus Z2 and Z2 plus Z1 will be same. They will not affect the order. Z1 plus Z2 and Z2 plus Z1. This type of property is known as a commutative property. The third property is associative property. Associative property. Associative property means 2, 3 plus 4 plus 5 is equal to 3 plus 4 plus 5. Means first A plus B plus C is equal to A plus B plus C. 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. 7 plus 5 will be equals to 12. Here 3 plus 4 plus 5. 5 plus 4, 9. 9 plus 3, 12. Means 3 plus, first you have to add this to 3 and 4. Then you have to add 5 in this. And in this case, you have to add 4 and 5. Then you have to add 3. In the similar manner, for the associative property, that is Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3. First you have to make a bracket in between 2 and 3. Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3 is equal to Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3. I have changed the order, But you can write it like this also. Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3 equals to Z1 plus Z2 plus Z3. Means here first you have to add Z2 plus Z3 and add Z1 in between here. Then here first you have to add Z1 plus Z2 and then you have to add the Z3. This property is known as a associative property. The first property is equals to closure property, second property is a commutative property, and the third property is a associative property. Now there are two more identities. The first one is existence of an additive identity and the last one is existence of an additive inverse. If I am saying about the additive identity means, see here, this is the word additive identity. Identity means there should be 0, means the complex number 0 is the additive element, identity element for addition. That means if 0 is added to a complex number or complex number is added to 0, then answer is always a complex number. This is known as the existence of additive identity. And here for every, this is the sign is for every, Z belongs to a complex number. C means complex set of a complex number. Z belongs to complex number and this is known as existence of additive identity. Now the last one is existence of a additive inverse. Inverse means negative, sign negative. That means for any complex number Z equals to A plus iota B, there exists minus of Z. Means if they both are added, means a Z is added to minus of Z, then plus Z and minus Z are cancelled out, then you will get a 0. Then this property is known as existence of a additive inverse. For any complex number Z equals to A plus iota B, there exists minus of Z. If I am saying minus of Z, you can say it as a negative of a complex number. Negative of a complex number, that is minus Z equals to A minus A plus iota of minus B. Then in such a manner that Z plus minus of Z, this minus of Z is known as additive inverse, or you can say minus of Z plus of Z, both are cancelled out, you will get 0. This was the properties of a addition. The first was it was a closure, second it was a associative, then commutative, and then existence of an additive identity, then existence of an additive inverse. Now we will see the second operation, that is about the subtraction of a complex number. Subtraction of a complex number. How the complex number, two complex number are subtracted. Actually, subtraction of a complex number is not valid. What we have to do? We have to use the additive inverse. Additive inverse for solving the subtraction. Suppose Z1 is equal to A1 plus iota B1 is the first complex number, and Z2 is equal to A2 plus iota B2 is the second complex number, and we want to find Z1 minus Z2. This is our aim, to find Z1 minus Z2. Basically Z1 minus Z2 does not holds for the complex number, but we have to solve it. We have to subtract two complex number. Then what we have to do? This Z1 minus Z2 can be written as Z1 plus minus of Z2. Means the first one will remaining the same, Z1, then plus you have to write, and you have to change the sign of Z2, or you can say it is a additive inverse. You have to find additive inverse of Z2. Suppose a question is there, Z1 equals to 2 plus 3 iota and Z2 is equal to 1 plus iota, and you want to find Z1 minus Z2. You have to find Z1 minus Z2. Z1 equals to 2 plus 3 iota, this is a case, and Z2 equals to 1 plus iota. It is a pure complex number, and this is also a pure complex number. Then what you have to do? Z1 minus Z2 can be written as Z1 plus minus of Z2. That means you have to find first minus of Z2. Then minus of Z2 will be Z1, this will be 2 plus 3 iota, then plus, and you have to change the sign of real number and imaginary number, that will be minus 1 minus iota, then you have to add, then this is 2 and this is minus 1. 2 and minus 1 are the real part, then this will be 2 minus 1, then you have to write here plus 3 minus 1, 3 minus 1 dot iota. Iota will be common out, then 2 minus 1 equals to 1 plus 3 minus 1 equals to 2 iota. And this is the result when you are subtracting Z1 and Z2. This is about the subtraction, and there are no properties for the subtraction of a complex number because it is associated with the addition. Finally, you have to add it by using the negative of a second complex number. This was about the subtraction of a complex number. Now, this is the way next operation is about the multiplication of complex number, and this is very important topic, multiplication of a complex number. How to multiply two complex number? Then the topic says that is multiplication of complex number. Complex number. Multiplication means, suppose Z1 is equal to A plus iota B, A1 plus iota B1 is the first complex number, and second is Z2 is equal to A2 plus iota B2 is a second complex number. Then Z1 dot Z2, dot or product, Z1 into Z2 is the multiplication of a complex number. If for this one, what you have to do, first suppose you want to find Z1 dot Z2, that means you have to write A1 plus iota B1 is multiplied by A2 plus iota B2. Then when you are solving algebraic expression, in the similar manner you have to solve two complex number, multiplication of the two complex number, means this A1 will be distributed to A2 plus iota B2, means you have to write here A1 is multiplied by A2 plus iota B2 and plus iota B1 is multiplied with A2 plus iota B2. Now you have to simplify it, A1 and A2, A1 into A2, that is A1 A2 plus this is iota A1 B2, this A1 is multiplied by iota B2, you are getting iota B2 A1 plus this iota is multiplied by here, this iota B1 is multiplied by A2 plus, then iota B1 and iota B2 are multiplied, that will be iota into B1, iota into B2. Then this can be written as A1 A2 plus iota times A1 B2 plus iota times B1 A2 plus iota will be equals to iota square B1 B2. Then iota square equals to minus 1, and this will be equals to A1 A2 plus iota times B1 B2 plus iota times B1 A2, and iota square equals to minus 1, this will be minus of B1 B2, or this will be the real part and this is also a real part. Then A1 A2 minus B1 B2 will be the real part, and here this will be A1 B2 plus B1 A2 is multiplied by iota, this is again a Z1 Z2. Suppose this was the article, and Z1 Z2 will be equals to A1 A2 minus B1 B2, this will be the real part of a complex number and this will be the imaginary part of a complex number. By this property we can say the closure property. This is known as a closure property. The closure property holds good for the multiplication. Now the second one is the second property. Now we will discuss about the properties of a multiplication. This is about properties of a multiplication. these are same as the addition. The first one is equals to closure property. Closure property. In the case of a closure property, means if two complex number are multiplied, the resultant or the result is also a complex number. Let us consider example. Suppose Z1 equals to a plus iota b, and Z2 is equal to x plus iota y, and we want to find Z1 into Z2. Z1 into Z2, we have to find the value of Z1 into Z2. That means it is under operation of multiplication. Then this will be a plus iota b is multiplied by x plus iota y, and this will be equals to Z1 Z2. Then a is multiplied by x, you are getting ax plus ay iota plus iota bx plus iota square by. Then iota square will be equals to minus of 1, and this is bx plus this 2 can be written as ay plus bx of iota plus iota square equals to minus 1, then I will here write here minus of by. Then this minus of by is the real part, then ax minus by plus ay plus bx of iota. Then this is a real part of a z, and this is imaginary part of a z. That means when two complex number are multiplied, then the closure property holds. This was about the first property, that is the closure property. Second property is about the commutative property. Commutative property. The commutative property says if Z1 and Z2 are two number, Z1 and Z2 are two number, and this belongs to a complex number C. This is a sign of belongs to. This belongs to C. Then Z1 into Z2 will be equals to Z2 into Z1. The value of Z1 and Z2 will be same as value of Z2 and Z1. This is called commutative property. Now we will come to third property, that is about the associativity or associative property. The associative property says if Z1, Z2 and Z3, Z1, Z2, Z3 are the three complex numbers belonging to a set of a complex number C. Then Z1, Z2, Z3 will be equals to Z1, Z2, Z3, but the operation will be Z1 is multiplied by Z2 first, and the result is multiplied by Z3, and this will be equals to Z2 into Z3, and then the result is multiplied by Z1. This is known as a associative property. Then three properties hold good. The first one is closure property, second one is commutative property, and third one is associative property. Now the rest two properties of a multiplication are, the first one is existence of a identity element. This is a identity element. Identity element means 1. Means if a complex number is multiplied by 1, you are getting a complex number itself. Then this 1, or you can say 1 equals to 1 plus 0 iota, is the identity element for the multiplication of every z. Every z means for a set of a complex number, 1 is known as identity element. And the fourth property is existence of a multiplicative inverse. This is very important topic. Multiplicative inverse. This is corresponding to the every non-zero complex number z equals to a plus iota b. There exists a complex number z1 equals to x plus iota y in such a manner that z into z1 is equal to 1. Z dot z1, where z and z1 are different. If I am saying z, the z equals to a plus iota b, and its multiplicative inverse will be suppose z1, and the value of z1 equals to x plus iota y. Then z into z1 equals to 1, and z1 into z Z into Z1 equals to 1, and this is equals to Z1 into Z. This is the fourth and fifth property for the multiplication of a complex number. Now last operation is a division. Division of complex number. How you can divide complex numbers? Suppose Z1 and Z2 are two complex number and they belongs to a set of a complex number. Then division means Z1 upon Z2. This operation you have to do Z1 upon Z2. In the case of a Z1 upon Z2, the first condition arises here. Z2 should be not equals to 0. Other than 0 it can be, but Z2 is not equals to 0. Then you have to make the separation, or you can use here multiplicative inverse approach. Multiplicative inverse for solving the division of a complex number. Suppose if I am saying 2 plus 3 iota is divided by 2. See, 2 plus 3 iota is divided by 2. Then this 2 is also a complex number, and this complex number can be written as 2 plus 0 dot iota. The standard format of a complex number is always written as Z equals to A plus iota B. That means if there is only a 2. Now see, if I am saying suppose Z equals to A plus iota B, then two cases arises here. If the first one is purely real. In the case if any complex number is purely real if its imaginary part is equal to 0. If its imaginary part is equal to 0, then the complex number is purely real. Second is purely imaginary. Purely imaginary means if the case is if a real part of a Z is equal to 0, then the complex number is known as purely imaginary. Purely real can be written as, suppose if I am saying Z equals to 3, then 3 is a real number, but in this case the imaginary part is 0, means 3 can be written as 3 plus 0 iota. In this case the imaginary part is 0, that means Z equals to 3 is the purely real complex number. And if I am saying Z equals to only 2 iota, then 2 iota means here real part is equals to 0. 2 iota can be written as 0 plus 2 iota, and the real part is 0, hence this Z will be purely imaginary. That means there are two types of complex number. The first one is purely real, and the purely real only exists if imaginary of Z equals to 0 or if its imaginary part is equal to 0, and purely imaginary when the real part is equals to 0. This was the basic operations: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division of a complex number.